Are again, another week's gone, and we're still alive. The virus hasn't got us. Whoop.
Well, it's only because we are so super fit ourselves.
Yes, that does help, I suppose.
You know, we go out, we do our...
You mean the this bit?
No, I'm knocking the walking, going to the gym, doing all that sort of stuff.
Yeah. No, it does help.
And that's why we're here to tell the tale for another week.
It does help, yes, yeah.
Anyway, enough of that. Formula One.
Well, let's not dwell on it. I think personally the decision should have been taken a lot earlier. It's upset an awful lot of fans, it's cost a lot of money, but now I believe it's all postponed till May. That makes sense. And let's hope by then, you know, it can all begin. But
the panic will recede. I can't say it'll be over, it will recede.
No, it will recede, but hopefully enough to start the season.
Yeah.
But realistically, perhaps they should have thought it through to start with. And as Lewis said, maybe cash was king. Yeah. I don't know, but you can't help feeling. But you know, look, the news is full of all this stuff. Let's not talk about it anymore because you know.
Let's talk about something a little more interesting, shall we say?
Yeah. Okay. What would you suggest?
Well, recall when you were a young whippersnapper.
Yeah.
And you went down to Monaco because you wanted to go to the Grand Prix. And you managed to get a job behind a bar called Rosie's?
Yes, well it was called the Chatham Bar, but it was run by a very, very well-known lady called Rosie, who went by the name of Rosie. That's very true. Yeah, no, that was very, I mean this story could never happen today, but actually I was just, what it was, I was actually going round Europe. I think I was actually hitchhiking. I'm not even sure I had a car. But anyway, I'd stopped at Monte Carlo. In those days it wasn't like it is now. And needed a job. So I was having a drink and it would happen to be near the Monaco Grand Prix, and she said, well, would you come and work behind the bar temporarily for those few nights?
Yeah.
That's how it happened.
Yeah.
So anyway, so I started working there, and then my godfather, who went by the name of Robin Richards, who was then a BBC radio commentator, and he came up to see me when he knew I was there and said, well, would you like me to bring up, you know, Graham Hill, actually, after the race? And I thought, yeah, in your dreams, you know. I said, yeah, I'd love to. Anyway, cut a long story short, 1968, guess who won it? Graham Hill. Guess who came second? Great British driver, Piers Courage. Blow me down, about 11:30, both of them turn up with Robin. I don't think they left till 2 o'clock in the morning. Now, that would never happen today. It was the most amazing night. Didn't get to bed, obviously, but it was just such good fun. And they really did get into the atmosphere because the place was heaving. All good fun though. No, you know, no nastiness. It was just bloody good fun.
Yeah, because
everyone had too much to drink.
Because Graham Hill was a bit of a jack lad.
Yes, but I mean, you wouldn't have, you know, it was just, he came in, I think he had his garland and things, but you know, I mean, you wouldn't have, no, they just mucked in. It was just quite extraordinary.
And then Piers Courage was a good driver, then he unfortunately...
He had yes, well, he was killed, obviously, and again, unnecessarily so, you have to say, because the fire marshals didn't have their...
Well, this was before the day they believed in sort of health and safety in any shape or form, really.
It was, yeah, because
and because it's so safe today, and it's actually also down to one man, really, Sir Jackie Stewart.
Yeah, that's true. Well, this was, you see, 68. In 69, he was driving for Frank Williams, Piers Courage, and they had 2 second places, one at Monaco and one, I think, the United States Grand Prix. They then bought this car, the Tommaso, I think it was, the one he had the accident in, the next year, and that was the end. And you couldn't have met, I mean, they just were characters beyond belief, really. But today it's just, well, so corporate. I'm not criticising it, I'm just saying it was very different.
The difference is that there's so much money involved in it nowadays,
and a lot more money.
Which wasn't there.
No, that's true. A lot more money. Yeah.
Actually, I was thinking on that happy note we might see.
Well, actually, just to finish the story, and then of course they all went, but I stayed, and I think I actually stayed there for nearly 9 months in the end. And then
of course you went on that Rosie became unwell. And the authorities wanted to
Well, no, what they, many years later, actually, what they wanted to do was to close her down, because I think they needed it for a hospital or something. And so many letters and things came from all around the world that they then backed down. But then in the end, obviously, she retired, and you know, many years later. But I mean, she was loved throughout the world. Very well-known lady, actually.
So those of a certain age would remember her.
If they've been to the Monaco Grand Prix, they must have gone to the Chatham Bar, and maybe I met some of them. You know, who knows? But I was only about 18 or something. You know. Anyway, there we are. That's my story. That's my uplifting story for the day.
Good. Well, I hope they all enjoy that.
Yeah.
And I think we'll call it a day.
Yes,
And hopefully we'll be on next week, because we won't have succumbed to whatever they're going to try and throw at us over this
Absolutely.
week. And it can't be transmitted through the camera.
No, that's true. Yeah. No, we want to make that absolutely clear.
Okay.
Au revoir.
Right. Au revoir.